Okay, Susan, so before I start your video, I'm just going to talk for a second. Everything looks really good. He's listening. You're doing well. I just want you to pay attention to the intensity of his energy compared to the amount of energy that you apply. Always remember, he should be working harder than you. He tends to ignore that fact. He tends to do just enough and kind of get away with it. So really pay attention to that. I'm going to be pointing out spots on that in just a second. So let me start you. And ignore my camera. This 20-minute one, I'm doing it on my cell phone. So it's the easiest way to get it on the internet fast for you. All right, so right there. See how he did not speed up? You applied extra energy. You're working harder than him. He's backing, but slowly. I would have smacked him again and again and again. He doesn't have to run backwards 20, 30 feet. He just has to move. See right there, you're working. You almost run into him right there. I would have smacked him probably once, probably twice. I would have smacked him again through there. So really pay attention. Really think about that. All right. Your hesitation is good. He's waiting on you. All that looks super good. Think about when you send him. Think about him picking up those shoulders and moving them away. That one, he kind of just walked past you. He didn't walk into you, but kind of past you. We'll talk about that again in a second. And I would bump his nose. We'll talk about it when you send him again. So let's see him send. He should pick up those shoulders and move out on his arc. So you might have to shorten your line so he can feel your point and so you can follow through with your stick and then let it feed out. See, it's kind of long there. He did it, but I would shorten my line and I would ask for a little more snappiness from him. Right there, I'd shorten my line just a tad, just a foot or so, and I'd bump that nose. If you bump that nose, he won't travel so heavy on that front end. He could pick his head up there. He could move a little bit more from his hind end. So really work on moving your hand up and down your line. Slide down to kind of correct him and then give him a little bit of line when he behaves, but don't just give him a bunch of line. All right, so that's pretty good. He's going around nicely. See how heavy he is on that front end? If you would slide your hand up and down that rope, he will disengage those hips better for your stop too. He's just kind of angling in, just kind of rolling in. Really focus on that. Bump that nose, shorten your line just a tad. You can always give him more. So what's going to happen here? I mean, he's super patient. He's waiting. All that's fantastic. Pay more there. See how he just kind of went? I want you to shorten that line, make him pick up those shoulders and move out on your arc. Right there, I would have smacked him. You raised your hand and asked, but there was no reason I would have smacked him and followed through. Just to follow through, if for no other reason. All right, desensitize him to a stop was fantastic, but remember when you desensitize him to that stop, it's all about the go. So when he goes, I want to see a huge yes ma'am. There, see, you worked harder than him again. That's a big indicator. I would desensitize him to a stop again, and then when you send him, shorten your line a tad, I'd point and I'd whip him across his ass. Because the woe should make a better go. It should not make a lazy go. So really pay attention to the amount of energy he's giving you. Again, he's not doing anything wrong per se, but he's being Lukka, he's being lazy and allowing you to work harder than him. He can give you a little more. And when you do desensitize that stop, shorten your line just a tad. That'll make your life easier. You don't have to pull him in. I also want you, once it gets a little more fit, I want you to consider, oh, see there, you should have shortened that line and sent him through. Really focus on moving your hand up and down that line, shorten him when you need to make him get off that front end. That's going to make him use his hind end more, make him travel better for you, make him gait better, make him be more balanced. If you allow him to be heavy on that front end, he'll do it all day long. That's what he likes. You know that. I also want you to focus on, or think about, once he's a little more fit, work on the go from the desensitizing to the stop. I want to see him go right into a lope, because that's going to help you work on your lope. Right now he's super lazy, and when you do work on your lope, he's going to make it harder for you. He's going to do a lot of gaiting, a lot of trotting, a lot of jarring you around. So really, really focus on getting after him, making him roll forward when you ask. Now right there you corrected him a tad. I would have gotten after him harder. So you let him get away with it twice. I would have gotten after him the first time. And see, he's sorry. All right, so we're going to do leading here. Again, think about your energy. Who's applying more energy, you or him? Slow down and be a little more thoughtful in this exercise. Add some more transitions, add some stops, add some backs. I want to see when you stop, I want him to think about stepping backwards one step, or actually stepping backwards one step. He just stops and waits. I want to see him give you more. Right here, he should be moving a little faster. See, you're kind of going his speed. Again, he needs to apply more energy. Right here, you can point kiss. You don't have to speed up. He should speed up. Little lazy. He's just a little, when you watch this back, I hope you see it. He's just a little lazy. And you know where a little lazy takes him. So ask for a little more. There, you kind of started before he did. When you point, he should be stepping off. He shouldn't wait for you to step off. There, you're trotting, he's not. That is a blatant ass whipping time right there. He needs to be whipped on. See, you're slow again, going his speed. And remember, you can turn, you can switch hands, and you can kind of send him to smack him harder if it's hard for you to reach behind you. You can switch your hands and just send him forward and smack, smack, smack. You're not sending him in a circle. You're just sending him forward. He can do it. You can always use your stick like a windshield wiper to slow him down if he rushes past you. But I doubt the first couple times he's going to run past you. All right, hips are super good. He's waiting on you. Really practice using pressure. Because he's being a bit lazy, I want you to really think about using your finger, using the end of that stick. So he's moving off your pressure, not just from the pressure in the air, but pressure actually on his side. And are you doing, I can't remember. So what are we doing here? All right, so I would have whipped him harder. And you're kind of whipping on the side of his flank. Remember to come down across the top of his hip. You're whipping to the side. Make sure you come down over the point of his hip. Whip him on the top of his hip, not the side. And keep that hand up by his eye so he doesn't rush forward. And I don't care how hot it is. He's just lazy. So let's see what else we got going on here. Shoulders, okay. I would have bumped him back right there. He's kind of moving forward. I would have jerked him back a couple feet and then asked for that shoulder again. And I would have stepped in again, get after him immediately. Don't allow him to be lazy. Smack him for the thought of being lazy. Ask for more. He's being correct, he's just being heavy on that front end. And that's gonna affect your gait, your stopping, and ultimately his listening down the road, because he's just getting away with being lazy in true Lukka fashion. So really just focus on applying more energy. And when you apply that energy, make sure he responds. If he doesn't respond, apply it until he does. Again, nothing's wrong with that. It's good, but it's just lazy. Any other horse, I'd say, good job, Lukka, you know where that leads. So we need to really pay attention to him. And he doesn't have to do it all day. He just has to try. You're getting a little behind him there. I'd bump him back him up a little bit, make him a little bit crisper, a little bit cleaner with those shoulders. That only helps him get on that hind end. You're going to send him through. Nice, but see how he ended heavy? Again, that's because he's being allowed to get after him. Again, the whole technical part of it, you guys look good, but thinking about Lukka, he needs to be gotten after. You need to apply more energy. Good. Again, I want you to work on actual pressure on his side with the end of the stick, finger, spur, whatever. I would go to your spurs. That's going to soften him up a whole lot more. Just use it in your hand. Remember? That lady's talking to you. Oh, you're getting free advice. I like that. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's being super nice. Okay, well, while she's talking, while I'm watching you talk to her, I really, really focus on waking him up. Again, he's doing everything so-called correct, but it's super heavy, super slow. I really want to see you, my big things would be work off pressure using the end of the stick or the spur with body parts, and work on that desensitizing to the stop a little more. After you work on your circle, really bump his nose in. Remember to bump your hand shoulder to shoulder, across your shoulders. You're probably going to have to tighten your rope a little bit to be more effective. Again, you can move your hand up and down your rope, adjusting as you need to. But once you get him tipping that nose in, picking up those shoulders, when you do your desensitizing to the stop, remember it's about your go. And when you point to send him, I would smack him across the hind end. I want to see him take off at a nice gait or at a lope. That means he's listening to you. That's what we need. A lot of listening. I'm trying to think while I'm watching you guys talk. The backing, I want to see more energy. Remember, you don't want to see him sliding those front feet. You want to see him picking them up and rolling them backwards. You want to see more energy come out of him than come out of you. All right, so we're back to what we're doing. Again, he's super correct. He should be, but he's just not trying. I want to see more. All right, that is with your stick. And see how he's right there. He's leaning on your stick. Go get your spur and dig into his side. Like he's being a lazy, lazy, lazy boy right there. And remember, you can keep that stick. If you don't have your spur, you can change it with your finger and use that stick and whack him on the top of the hip. Make him give you more. He's just laying on your pressure. In true Lukka fashion. Good, get after him. Right there you jerked and he kind of just stood and took it. All right, he's backing up a little. Remember, you can crack him across the nose. See right there, once you get him in the chest, if he's not listening or he's going sideways, accidentally crack him across the nose. Make him give you more. He's just being a little too lazy. Right there too. I know you're just kind of walking, but he's dragging. He can walk faster. You can walk slow. Turn those tables on him. All right, what do we got going on now? Let's see, that shoulders with pressure, right? Yep. All right, again, not bad, but lazy. I'm probably going to say the same thing over and over. He's just freaking lazy. Lazy, lazy, lazy. And I like the waiting. I like the resting. Don't let him rest after he works hard. He has not worked hard yet. He has conserved his energy like nobody's business. If you can hear that, that's the cat clawing at my door. Because I shut the office door, now he wants in. Also think about, you've got a nice fence there. Work on some side passing up and down the fence. That will help you. I mean, there's no reason you can't do it. That will help you a little more with your coordination, your control. Whoops, I'm sitting here talking, watching the actual video, and you got off track. I'm sorry if I was off for a few seconds. Oh, again, right there. Lazy, lazy, lazy. Smack him. See how he just kind of shouldered into you? He should be on his hind end, picking up that front end. And he's just kind of dragging that right shoulder around. If you're asking with pressure and he's being lazy, go back to smacking it. I mean, whip him on that shoulder. You're asking, you're asking, you're asking, you're asking too much. Smack him. He's just, again, he's being correct, but zero energy. And see how he's even standing there heavy on his front end. He's kind of camped out because he's so heavy on that front end. He needs to have that hind end under him and that front end lighter so he can use it. He's just planted because he's just not trying in true Lukka fashion. You need to conserve all your energy for eating. Oh, here we go, side pass. Okay. Again, tune it up on the rail if you need it. That was good. But on the rail, you can get after him in the middle of the arena too. Okay, lazy. Remember, that side pass can fall apart. You can smack him, correct him, and then go back to having it clean and put together. But don't worry about if you have to correct him. Let it all fall apart. Let him fret a little bit. Let him apply some energy. Let him move a little bit, and then come back and do it again. He'll only be better. Don't worry about that side pass falling apart. And what are we doing now? But again, the main topic is just make him work harder than you are working. What are we doing? All right, so shorten your line. If you're asking for that side pass, shorten your line to his face. That means you push your hand towards his face so you're not pulling on him. If that was was that a side pass that you wanted there? Again, pay attention to your rope. You need control of that rope, soft control. All right, so what are you asking? You're asking him to move his hip. Side pass. Okay. All right, again, a little more rope control. It's really loose. When he doesn't listen, you have nowhere to go with it. When you shorten it, just remember to push that hand towards him so you're not pulling his nose to you. All right, so where are you guys going? Whoops, sorry, I was paying attention again. All right, so when you get a little far in the arena, it is hard for me to see with this GoPro. Just next time, either put it, if you can put it on a jump post, or just stay a little closer to it for me. I can imagine what you guys are doing. I know you guys good enough, but I want to see too. See there, it's kind of hard for me to see what's happening. Are you side passing over a pole? You know, you could use those jumps too while I'm trying to figure out what you're doing. You could use those jumps, you could send him over them. Just kind of get handy and throw your rope over the standard as you go past it. You know, just kind of flip it up and over. Or you can stand by the standard and send him over the jumps back and forth in like a C pattern. That'll help him elevate that front end. Get him using himself a little more. Or make yourself some patterns with the poles. And maybe that's what you're doing. I can't see what's on the ground there. Alright, so I'm a little, again, when you do this, just try to stay a little closer to your camera, at least on the other side of the jumps. We should almost be done with this video. Again, let me go over stuff again. I want more energy from him. If he doesn't move when you get after him again and again and again until he does. And then you won't have to get after him as much. Or are you working on like the mounting block? You're moving his body parts. I just can't see what's on the ground. That was a side pass. Again, I'll just talk through what I want again. Energy, energy, energy. He needs to work harder than you. Get him off that front end onto his hind end. Make him use himself. He'll get fitter and be more comfortable if you'd get him on that hind end, get him off that front end. It's just making him heavy. It's making him lazy. That's when he pulls you. That's when he's heavy on your hands. That's when he gaits crappy. He has to be on that hind end more. All right, so you're getting after him. Let's see, I think you're just moving him around a little bit. All right, so that back there. He's picking up his feet. It's slow. I might have smacked him once just to make him, remember at the end of the back, you want him to not stop and plant himself, but you want him to like cruise into the end of the back. You want him to be moving when you take the pressure off, not pressure, 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 until you can't make him move anymore. Like right there, I'd apply more pressure, I'd smack him, and then take it off and praise him. Don't let him fade into no energy. Get after him, ask for energy, get it, and then take that pressure off immediately. All right, so we should be coming to the end of your groundwork. Again, think about what I said. Everything is technically correct, but I want more energy. I want him on that hind end more, okay? All right, so think about that, and I will send this to you. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, bye.